Good evening. My name is Christian Mays, and I am here to try to persuade you that college players should be able to be paid. Now, college players put their heart and soul into playing D1, D2, D3 sports, wake up every morning, training, do a lot of different things. They have a rigorous schedule. They travel and and they don't get paid to do it. They get full rides and they get some special treatment, but on the whole scheme of things, they don't get paid for what they do in on the college level. And one of the reasons why that kind of makes me upset and I kind of get frustrated with it is because you see the D1 coaches get paid millions of dollars and all the recognition in the world to coach these young players up to a certain level and most sports help people become who they are and they get paid to do it. But then when we watch and we see these players go out and put their their lives on the line, and they're playing football and they may get injured or something, the coaches are safe. They're gonna get their money guaranteed, and they're feeding off of the kids, off of the young men or young women that go and do these sports. And even though coaching is a tough job and you should get paid a good amount for it, I don't think there's a reason why the coaches are are getting paid more or even at equal standard than the students that are actually going out there and providing the money that the university is giving to these coaches. So today I will discuss why college players will get paid in detail. The college can't run on just no players and you just have the coaches and the staff. The people come and pay money and get sponsored because of these players who make the programs what they are. Team in any sports aspect, nobody wants to go see a a team that's not good. You see it in the professional level, you see it in college level, and even high school level. You go support people, but nobody really wants to sit through, and you're not going to gain the fans if the team really isn't up to the standard. And most of the money that comes from viewership and comes from a lot of these things is from the college players and what they bring and their namesake. And from even from high school to college, their namesake is what brings the money to the university. And even with schools like example Duke. Duke got Zion Williamson last year, and Duke was already bringing in big money, but Zion Williamson was one of the biggest prospects, so they gained even more money, and he didn't get any money from that. And even though he went to the NBA, it's the fact that through that whole year, anything could have happened, and he was not going to get paid for it. And that's to me, that's just a travesty. Um, there's an article that talks about these kids being exploited and what they're actually getting from these colleges and how it's kind of hindering them because not everybody gets drafted, not everybody gets a chance to go pro and all that, so some of these kids are being taken advantage of, and it's just it's sad to see. I think most of us can at this point can realize that these kids and young men and young women are being taken advantage of. They're being exploited. And luckily, already, it's been a big discussion for years that this college player should be paid. That California is passing a law, I believe, that they will have people be able to be paid at the college level, and they're trying to get that passed, and they're trying to set that up to where they're not being exploited, and they're not being uh, uh, troubled for money at these times, at not even at these times in general. And then lastly, um, we have to keep the conversation up. We have to make sure every year that we're talking about these players not getting paid and their struggles and what they're going through. Because if you talk to anybody that is in the system of the NCAA, D1, D2, D3, they will tell you personally because they've told me, and I know a few people that they go through so many hard things when it comes to waking up. They actually still have to go to school. They still, which is already tough for a college student. And then you have to have a social life because not everything can be based on just sports and school, and then that's a hard life to live. And sometimes they can't financially pay for everything, and it gets kind of hard on them to even try to. Because first thing, a lot of them don't come from the greatest background. A lot of them put their heart and soul into trying to get to college so they can build up and do all that so they can even have a chance. So that's just, we have to keep the conversation alive. Every time that somebody is saying that maybe we'll have a vote on something, or see if they can pass a law for something, we have to make sure that we are always talking about it. So the call to action is do your research about the athletes. Even if you disagree, do the research about the athletes. Talk to somebody who's an athlete, a D1, D2, D3. Ask them about their schedule. Ask them how they feel about not about being paid, but feel about playing D1 under that much pressure and under that much scrutiny that they even get at that point. And lastly, I want to say, do not let these young men, young women get exploited anymore. They need to be paid. They need to be reimbursed. They need to not be able to be fine. I mean, not fine, but not be able to be exploited without getting paid. The college is getting paid, and these players are not. I think that's just a whole travesty. Thank you for listening.